Hey guys, today we are going to review the Lightning Sword Flash Yuuki skill. This skill gotta be the strongest skills in the game right now and most likely will be for a while. We will look into the perks that comes with the skills and I will explain why I think this skill is gonna be the strongest skill for quite some time. This skill is a non-elemental full burst sword skill with a really high damage multiplier and some bonuses and buffs that will make the skill do more damage. The skill animation is a very long animations, flying Mother Rosario animations. It is different compared to the Mother Rosary animation as the first contact is a little bit slower because of the jump animations. It has a very high SB cost at 35 and a long cooldown, but not as long as the other Mother Rosary skill at 18 seconds. However, when used as a burst, the cooldown will be 36 seconds. When we use the skill normally we will get a defense buff up to 15% and 5 stack of a non-elemental damage stack buff at 0.5% per stack. I don't think these buffs are going to be used that often because we will mostly be using the burst instead. Plus it is not practical to use the non-elemental stack buff unless we are using the rush that can increase our stack buff. When we use the skill as a burst, we will get up to 5510 damage multiplier, 2 times defense as attack, and 100 non-elemental damage when we use 2 or more Asuna skill, which will enable us to do massive damage. Also, given this is a full burst skill, we will be able to use burst multiple times, making us an absolute tank. The 2 Asuna requirement for 100% non-elemental bonus may not be easy to build, so let's do some damage comparisons when we are using it with Asuna skill or without the Asuna skill. Without the 2 Asuna skill in my set, I can do this much damage with the skill. Now I will put 2 Asuna skill on my active sets and now my damage increases quite a lot as you can see in here. Let's compare damage with the full burst with some element, which is in this case the hair Kirito with the water element. Against the water weak enemy, this skill can do this much damage, which is higher compared to the damage when I don't use 2 Asuna skills with the Yuuki skill. But it's still lower compared to when I use 2 Asuna skill. Remember though that this is the damage when the Lightning Sword Flash Yuuki skill is still not max limit broken, while the Kirito skill is already max limit broken. Now let's take a look at some possible builds that I have with the skills. Since the burst requirement is dark / and holy, I can have my dark mod sword skill on my switch, then use a connect skill attached with other skills requirements. I use this free hit cleave connect skill since I don't have any other connect skills, equipped with the piercing hero Kirito for an attack buff and Alice skills that can give me a defense buff, and it's a holy element. For my last skill, I will use the random Xenon skill to fulfill the 3 Xenon requirement for my mod sword skill to get the 1000 attack. Then in my ability skill, I will use this Kirito Power Rise 3 skill which will give me 20% attack when I use Xenon skill, as well as 25% damage, dark damage. Cool Witch Xenon for the 3 Xenon requirements on my mod sword, Veteran Sword Technique 4 that can give me 34% attack, and a full burst ability so that I can use the full burst skills one more time. This full burst is more for thrust weapon actually, but it is better than my PR3 full burst because I can still get 10% attack from this skill. With this build, I can just use the Xenon mod skills and then head cleave connect skills to activate the full burst. I will also get an attack and a defense buff in the process. Then I will activate my rush and use the full burst. When the switch is filled, I can use the switch to get an extra attack and defense buff from the weapon proficiency skill and use up the remaining bursts for the damage. Since the Yuuki skill is a non-elemental, it works well for any weak enemy regardless of their elemental weakness. This build will allow me to activate the burst just using this one set. However, I don't get 100% non-elemental damage because I don't have good Asuna ability skill. Alternate build that I make allows me to deal a ridiculous amount of damage but it's difficult to use because I need to play it in a low HP. In this build, I will use a second weapon to activate the burst using this Dark Dagger Connect skills equipped with a 2 Quick Slash skill. Then I also have a Holy Death Mark debuff and a Holy Mark debuff to use before I switch to my sword set. On my sword set, I have this Dark Moth Xenon skill on switch and the Full Burst Yuuki. My 2 other skills will be a Random Awakening Asuna skill so that I can get the 100% non-elemental damage on my Full Burst Yuuki skill. On my ability, I have the Veteran Sword Technique 4 for the 34% attack, this Yuuki Awakening skill that will give me 18% attack when my HP below 50%, then Blast Lithbet that will give me 46 defense when my HP is below 25%, and a PR3 Full Burst skills for more attack and chance to use the Full Burst skill. Now if I give Koharu another Mark debuff skill on switch, I can do this, so that I will start with the dagger equipped with ingots to lower my HP and use the Dark Connect skills, then use the Holy Dagger skills to apply Death Mark debuff, and use the Treasure Hunter Philia to apply Mark debuff and switch to my sword weapon. I will then activate the rush and use the Full Burst to do massive damage. By then my switch will be filled up already, so I will use the switch, and because this skill's first hit animation is so fast, the Mark debuff will be left for the next skill, which I will use the next Full Burst. Now if Koharu used the Mark debuff again, I'll be lucky, but usually just close it with the last Full Burst to deal massive amount of damage during the rush period. This build is only useful when we have both Full Burst and rush ability though, since it will be very difficult to deal damage when they both are still in cooldown because the Full Burst UE skill has 36-second cooldown. Now let me tell you why I think this skill is going to be strongest skill for a while. First thing, of course, because of the crazy high damage multiplier and bonus, plus this skill is a Full Burst which we can use multiple times if we have some Full Burst skills and abilities. That will allow us to deal massive amount of damage as shown. Compared to the previous Full Burst skill, it has 1010 more damage, so it will take some time before they make a skill as strong as this. The skill with Matarosari animation usually has a major weakness, where the attack animation is very slow, that makes it hard to dodge the enemy attack. But given that this is a Full Burst skill, it doesn't matter, because we will use the burst mode that gives us invincibility anyway. This skill has a high SP cost at 35. But it also does not matter because when we use burst, it does not cost any SP. This is also a non-elemental skill which will work against any weak enemy, and again higher level bosses, this works even better because those bosses usually have resistance against other elements. We won't get those damage reductions with a non-elemental skill. Now the drawback of this skill is that the burst cooldown is 6 seconds longer compared to other Full Burst sword skill, which are quite long, and that we need to have 2 Asuna skills to get a maximum damage, which can be quite restrictive. But if you have some good Asuna ability, this is not going to be a problem. So all in all, I think this is still a very good skill. That's it for the video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you enjoy the content. If you want to see my review on other Full Burst sword skill, check out this next video here and I will see you there. Bye now.